Welcome back. This week, we're going to talk a little bit about my first experience of birthing a child into this world. My first pregnancy, I walked the walk and I talked the talk. I was getting adjusted and was seeing a chiropractor for my structural alignment throughout my pregnancy, and everything was going great. I was also seeing an acupuncturist and, doing all the things that I talked to my practice members about. And when it came time for the birth, I didn't actually know if I was going to have a boy or girl, but when I started having contractions, it started at 1 in the morning. My water broke. I started having contractions. It was not the type of contractions where they talk about, like, oh, you should start reading a book or play a game to distract yourself, or, just get through it. It's like, these are pretty intense contractions. I don't know how people can just kind of get through their day with this. So I called my doula, and I think she was talking to my husband and about, how frequently everything was happening and all of that, to get a better gauge in terms of where I was at, because this was now going to be her moment to shine and really help out. So she needed to be rested for all of that. So she ended up coming some hours later and helping me get into some positions that were comfortable, but the contractions remained intense this whole time. So it was really difficult to get any kind of rest, but they weren't frequent enough for me to think that the active labor had actually started at this point. So she came over and was checking in on me and monitoring how everything was going, and ended up finding out that I had meconium. And so we went to the hospital to get everything checked out. We got to the hospital and found out that my daughter was actually sunny side up. Well, they didn't know it was a girl at that point, but the baby was sunny side up, meaning that instead of her, she was still head down, but instead of her head facing towards the back of my body, her head was facing towards my front. So she was sunny side up. And what that means for many women where they're going through labor is that actually many women will develop back pain, back labor, because the baby's skull, right, as it's coming down, if the baby is facing your front, then the baby's skull is against your pelvis, as opposed to the baby's face being next to your pelvis, which makes it a lot easier because that's a lot softer than their skull is. And so my doula was amazing. She spent many, many hours trying to work with my body to help get the baby to turn. And luckily, everything worked out. So we were able to just have a natural birth, and still indebted to my doula to this day. But in hindsight, right? Hindsight's always 2020. While I had seen a chiropractor during my pregnancy, she was experienced as a chiropractor, but she wasn't actually a prenatal chiropractor. And that's when I started recognizing really the difference between the prenatal certification, that all the training that I had gone through, and recognizing the difference between seeing a general chiropractor versus someone who specialized in what you need. So kind of fueled my passion for helping families understand that it really, really makes a difference to understand who is evaluating your body, so that they can pay attention to all the things that we are trained to do, right? And so when you're going through the prenatal experience, or if you've already had your child, working with a chiropractor who is prenatal certified and pediatric certified makes a huge, huge difference. So I'm so grateful to the ICPA. Their link is below. If you want to find a chiropractor who's certified close to you, if you're in the Bay Area, of course, I'm happy to work with you. But outside of the Bay Area, then I'd definitely love for you to check out the link, because it makes such a big difference to help make sure that the baby's position is as optimal as possible, right? So a lot of people come to me in their third trimester asking if I'm Webster certified, which I am through the ICPA. But the Webster technique is not really a baby flipping technique or a baby positioning technique. What it actually is creating alignment in the mom's pelvis, because you have all these pelvic floor muscles here, right? And if there is a misalignment or even a slight rotation in the mom's pelvis, that will impact how the pelvic floor muscles can contract. And we want to make sure that we can maintain mom's pelvic alignment as optimal as possible, because with all the relaxin kicking in as you're going through your prenatal journey, especially towards the end, as your body's getting ready for the baby's arrival, then all the relaxin that's kicking in makes it naturally a little bit harder for the body to hold any one given position. So with the adjustments, we're looking at optimizing the alignment there. And so that we can really help the nervous system communicate properly with the brain, right? We want all that information going from the body to the brain to be as optimal as it can so that we can create enough space for the baby to be head down, ideally not sunny side up, so that it can really make a huge difference in the whole birth experience for you and your baby. If you're interested in checking out more, please look at the link below for the ICPA. If you'd like to work with us, we definitely love working with families anywhere in that 5 trimester journey from preconception all the way to postpartum to really help you experience the most optimal and most joyful perinatal experience, postpartum experience that we can help you achieve. So take a look below and we'll see you next week.